What's up? How's it going? Tactical Bunny here with a backyard knife review. I picked up this little knife, the Swags Chili Pepper, on Amazon. Unfortunately, it looks like it's being discontinued, so they're just kind of lowering the price to get it out of their inventory. And I got this on just a ridiculous deal, $37.50 on Amazon. It's kind of on sale on the other websites. If you see this video and you like this knife, you might want to consider picking it up sooner than later before it's completely out of stock at all the outlets. But they all seem to be doing some discount on it. Maybe not quite as good as 37.50, but pretty darn good. And I I definitely have some critique critiquing criticizing to do of this knife, but I like it, and I like it a lot. So I want to go over what I like about it before I get into that. And the first thing I'm going to say is I like its attitude. Okay, it's the chili pepper, and how appropriately named is that? It's it's a fun knife. It's a cute knife, and it's functional, and that's all to the good. And it's got a little bit of a theme, calling it the chili pepper, and yeah, it kind of looks like a chili pepper. Even the way the front flipper sticks out, it just kind of looks like maybe the stem of the chili pepper. But yeah, it's a cool little knife with a lot of spicy attitude, and it's got fantastic jimping, right? It For such a small knife, it really fits your hand. You can kind of choke up on it, and you can kind of let it swing forward a little bit, and you get all four fingers on the handle. For such a small knife, dang, it does that really good. It's fidget friendly with the button lock. Yeah, it's it's I've been playing with it. I enjoy you know just playing with it. It's a cool little knife. So yeah, there is that going on there. Let me do some relevant size comparisons. Okay, so first off, let's compare it to the Cold Steel Spartan. It's smaller than a Cold Steel Spartan. Yep. Then let's compare it to something like the Boker California Auto. It's bigger than the Boker California Auto. Really relevant size comparison. Uh, okay. Maybe a little bit more relevant is how about this? We'll do a size comparison to the Kissing Cranes Stiletto, and it's smaller than the Kissing Cranes Stiletto. Okay. And then maybe one more super relevant size comparison. We'll go. How about against the Stack Gear Pocket Katana, and it's bigger than the Stack Gear Pocket Katana. So yeah, there's some really relevant size comparisons for you. Yeah, so it's a nice little knife. It's got a lot of attitude. It's got some really decent features. When I got this, I wasn't really looking for a Persian blade, so to speak. So didn't really tickle that fancy. I'm actually kind of looking for the exact opposite, which is I've kind of wanted to mess around with some sheep footy blades, which I've never had. I have had, these trailing point blades, and they're good. I just already have some and wasn't looking for more, but sometimes you got to jump on a deal when the deal is there to be dealt. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's all to the, that's the good, and it is a nice shaped blade. The utility of it's great. Less so for opening packages, maybe more as like, you know, a steak knife or something. I know, like, why are you using a pocket knife to eat steak? But honestly, sometimes I do, you know. I know it's like kind of silly, but this thing, oof, yeah, this is actually works really great for that. Anyway, yeah, so that's. I really don't want to rip Nick Shabazz off and say the good, the bad, the ugly, but there is kind of some good, bad, and ugly going on here. So that's the good. It's got a lot of attitude. It's got nice G10. That's a good. It's got 154 cm. That's a good. It has a great blade shape, a very slicey blade. That's a good. It's fidget friendly, which is great. It's fun to deploy with either the front flipper or the button lock. And yeah, it's just a fun little knife. So that's the good, right? And okay, this is going to be a Nick Shabazz ripoff video. I am sorry, Nick Shabazz, if you ever see this. I'm plagiarizing your go around, but it just kind of needs it. So there is some bad and there is some ugly. All right. The bad was the thumb stud. It just did not need a thumb stud. And the thumb stud was a little bit too wide, right? And I didn't like it. So I did a thumb stud delete. This is the first time I ever did it, but I basically just filled this hole with some dyed epoxy. Went with green. I thought that would be a cool color, and it's translucent, and you kind of get little glimpses of light through it every once in a while, and I think that's cool. I like it. So I kind of took the bad and I made it into a good on this particular knife. And sometimes yeah, that's all to the better. The next bad was the sharpening choil. I actually extended this sharpening choil out because on my KME sharpener I just I couldn't get bite into the beginning of this blade, so I just had to push the sharpening choil out, and then that was fixed. So that was bad. And then the pocket clip. No, I'm going to save the pocket clip for ugly because that wasn't too good. The next bad, it's very good G10, right? But the G10 could be more radiused around these edges, if I'm being honest. It's not super comfortable. It's fine, especially for a knife that you're not going to be using all day long. It's great. But yeah, the G10's a little harsh. I'll throw back a good is the way my thumb rides and kind of sits on the end of the handle. It actually, like, the ridges of the handle kind of add to the jimping, and I get really great traction from the top. So that's another good. So going through the bad, I talked about the sharpening choil. I said that I didn't like the thumb stud, and the G10 could have been radiused a little bit more. Okay, so there's a couple uglies, and one was the pocket clip, and the pocket clip was way too thin. Like, literally, I could not get it to. It was a deep carry, but it was so thin that I could not get it to sink down all the way on a normal pair of jeans. And yeah, it would work in running shorts, and that was about all it would work with. So I threw on this MXG Gear clip, so now that's good. So yeah, that's ugly that for most guys to carry this. I understand it's designed by a girl, a lady, not a girl, a nice woman who designed this knife, and maybe she designed it for fellow women who have lighter clothing. But for a guy, it's kind of ugly if you can't get the knife all the way down in your pocket, and the pocket clip was too narrow. So it's not a problem for me anymore. I threw on this MXG gear clip. It's a little large for this knife, but yeah, it's fine. All right. And then the other ugly was fit and finish from Kizer themselves. There was lock stick on this knife, and it was kind of ugly lock stick. It didn't work. And you know, as soon as I go to push in the button, it would just hesitate, and then bash down. So I did take the knife apart, and I just kind of radiused inside the area where the blade actually contacted the button, and I just kind of radiused the edge, sort of like it's radiused here on the blade itself, and I softened that, and that made the lock stick go away. So Kizer, dudes, don't do that. Make sure that you radius the interior parts that need to be radiused to present lock stick. That's not cool. It's just not, guys. So yeah, this is a really nice knife, and I really like that I was able to get it into my collection, even if I'm doing this video as it's going out of production and nobody's ever going to watch it. I am stoked to do a quick little review on it. Swags, lady, you did a fantastic job conceiving of this knife. All the props to you. You know, any critique I have here, it's constructive criticism, and that's what these knife reviews are about. Nick Shabazz, I'm sorry for ripping off the good, the bad, the ugly, but I just kind of had to for this specific knife. And yeah, Kizer Chili Pepper, great knife. Not the most perfect execution, but damn am I happy that I have it now. Alright, well, thanks for watching this video. Everyone have a fantastic day, and that'll be